It is estimated there are nearly 5 million wild hogs in the United States. In my home state of Texas, there are more than 1.5.
Well, good morning, friends. It's your old buddy Luke Clayton, and last night I was out coyote hunting, but what happened was a buddy shot a wild hog.
So there must be a culprit around here somewhere, and I think I see someone back in the woods waving. Welcome to A Sportsman's Life. We're so glad you tuned in to join us for another exciting real-world outdoor adventure right here on A Sportsman's Life. It is estimated there are nearly 5 million wild hogs in the United States. In my home state of Texas, there are more than 1.5 million, and they can be found in nearly every county. One of the main reasons that there are so many is the fact that they have really no natural predators. A sow can have up to 2 litters of nearly 8 piglets in a 12 to 15 month period. Not to mention the fact that piglets can breed at 6 months of age. Do the math, that's a bunch of hogs. Sus scrofa is the scientific name for a wild hog. The name feral hog refers to a domestic animal that returned back to the wild. The feral hog is an opportunistic omnivore, or simply put, they will eat just about anything that they can get in their mouth. Their diet consists of grubs, roots, insects, snakes, eggs of most animals, and they'll eat small animals like white-tailed fawns, goats, and other small mammals when the opportunity presents itself. The best way to learn about the feral hog is to sit and watch them in their natural environment. One thing about a feral hog is their keen senses. Their sense of smell is quite amazing, their hearing is quite well, and their eyesight is fair. However, these are some of the smartest animals you will ever encounter in the wild. I can assure you hunting them is not an easy task. If you've never hunted a wild hog, I highly suggest you get out and give it a try. It's a heck of a lot of fun and great table fare. Brought to you by Dallas Safari Club, Conservation, Education, and Hunter Advocacy. Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable. Taurus Firearms, maker of the Raging Hunter. Trigicon, brilliant aiming solutions.
Well, good morning, friends. It's your old buddy Luke Clayton, and last night I was out coyote hunting, but what happened was a buddy shot a wild hog. And that's what we want to talk about on our cooking segment today, is cooking wild pork. Now, the hog he shot was a sow, probably about 150 pounds. One of the best eating pieces of game, I call it game meat, it's really not game, it's wild pork, but it's awesome eating. It was a fat sow. And last night I came in, took the backstraps and put them in an aluminum pan and put them in my Smoking Texas electric smoker. Now, people ask me, are wild hogs good to eat? Now, that is a loaded question, friends, because the only way I know how to answer that is, well, if you're going to go to a livestock auction and buy a hog to eat, are you going to buy an old rank boar, or are you going to buy a fat, younger hog? So the answer is pretty obvious. Boars can be very good eating, especially the younger ones. They're probably going to be a little bit tougher than sows, and that's just a fact. but you can cook them. The whole key in cooking, the way I cook pork, unless I'm frying it or something like that, long and slow with moisture. Now, I'm going to show you here in just a little bit these two backstraps. They were, the sow probably weighed 140 pounds, give or take. So the backstraps were about that long, about that big around. Some of the best eating from the wild, folks, but I put it in my Smoking Texas electric smoker. I seasoned it up really good. Use whatever dry seasoning you like on, this was barbecue, but season it up and put some barbecue sauce on it, put it in some aluminum foil in a pan, and put some wood smoke on it. You don't need a lot of smoke. Actually what I used is hickory nuts, the dry hickory nuts, put them in my smoke pan in the Smoking Texas electric smoker and just let it go. And I went to sleep. I set it on 190, the thermostat on the electric smoker. Now I got up, I've been up about an hour kind of stowing my gear from the hunt last night. We were hunting coyotes and my buddy actually shot the sow, so I wound up with some fresh pork. I'm going to get that out of the smoker, get those two pork loins, and the key was leaving some fat on them, and I raked the fat off. I'm going to show you what it looks like, show you how tender it is. And if you're on the fence about cooking wild pork, just remember, if you're going to cook a roast or a big chunk of meat, or even sometimes the backstraps, long, slow, with moisture. That's the key. Of course, you can pound out the steaks just like venison. Pound it out with a meat hammer or a jacquard, something like that, and chicken fry it. It's great that way, but a bigger cut of meat, long, slow, with moisture. So let me get this out of the smoker, these two pork loins. I'm going to go ahead and rake the fat off of it. We don't want that, and just show you the meat. How about that? Hope you can pick up a little bit of a tip or two on this on cooking wild pork. It really is great eating, folks. So let me break out the old smoker and get those two pork loins out, and let's take a look at them. Okay, my friends, here are the two pork loins. Actually, I seasoned them with a little Kube's Meat Rub. Kube's Meat Processing in Dallas makes this. I'm sure you could buy it online, but there's all kind of good dry seasoning. That's what I use with some good barbecue sauce. But let's take a look at these. Now these, let's just cut into the middle one. You can see that's very tender. Of course, you cook your pork well done. Very tender. Now what I'll do is put barbecue sauce on these pieces. You can see I've removed most of the fat. There's still a little fat. That's tasty seasoning for when you're cooking the meat. You want to leave some fat on there. We'll get rid of that. Trim all the fat off, but that actually gives a lot of flavor. You can see here some fat that's on the outside. You won't find any marbling in wild pork or any pork. The fat is on the outside, but that's what gives it the flavor. And here's the fat on this one right here. You can see this. What I'll probably do is make some sliced barbecue, and then I'll probably take these pieces and make chopped barbecue. But folks, to answer your question, is wild pork good eating? I do wish you could sample some of this right here, and I think you'd say yes, that it is.
A Sportsman's Life is also made possible by Air Force Air Guns, AGM Global Vision, H3 Whitetail Solutions, and Pyramid Air.
Hello sports fans, Bill Carey with Striper Express with your fishing tip on A Sportsman's Life. Why do we wear shirts with flaps? This is why. You want to make sure that phone is secure. My son is running a race. He's lost 8 phones in 3 years. Bad luck. But this is why we all wear shirts with flaps, see? Keeps that valuables, keeps your phone. Now I want to show you a jacket that I have. I wish I could get them all like this. Look at this pocket. See that extra flap in there? That right there keeps things from falling out of your pockets. Valuables, keys. You don't want to lose your keys at the lake, do you? Stick them in there. They will not come out with that extra flap. I wish all jackets had those. But there's 2 good tips, especially the shirts with flaps. When you buy them, think of flaps. So, There's your fishing tip on a Sportsman's Life this week. I'm Bill Carey with Striper Express. Go catch a fish.
Conservation Today is brought to you by Hayden Outdoors Real Estate, the brand that sells the land. Visit HaydenOutdoors.com to find or sell your farm, ranch, or recreational property.
You know, one mistake I see people make a lot of times when they're looking at properties is they'll buy a piece of property wanting to put a lodge on it, or a cabin, a place to stay while they're actually hunting, and they won't consider where the power is, the water is, if they could get a well in a certain spot. And they end up building right in the middle of their property or at the back side of their property where they've got to go completely through the property to get to the place they're going to stay. So it's always a great idea when you get a piece of property, make sure that there's a place that you can access from the outside that's not going to affect the hunting on the inside. Because a lot of species, you know, whitetails might just run off and get in the brush, let you drive through, and then come back out and be huntable that afternoon. But something like elk, if you run through the herd of elk, they're going to probably leave the place unless it's a giant property. So you want to get a place where you can set up, do your camping, have your homestead, your cabin, your lodge, where you can get into it without affecting the hunting part of the property. That's going to make a big difference. Once you get there, if you've got to go through your elk to get to your cabin, you might not see them the rest of the week. So do yourself a favor, make sure you find a property that you can get the cabin or house built on where it's not going to affect the hunting.
For those of you dealing with issues of weak or dead batteries on your feeders, it's important to have a good battery tester and a battery rejuvenator to keep your batteries working in tip-top shape. A few tips. Test each feeder battery frequently and note the battery levels. I'll put a label on each battery showing the date I tested it and the level it showed. Should a battery be weak, use a battery rejuvenator like the Optimate 6 that I use to keep all my batteries working at top efficiency. Battery rejuvenators can repair the cells in car batteries as well as feeder batteries. Having strong batteries on your feeders spinning the golden nugget can possibly be the difference between bringing home the bacon or not. Well, I heard a gunshot and then walked over this way and I'm like, wow, somebody just shot a doggone deer. There's blood everywhere here. Look at the blood. So there must be a culprit around here somewhere. And I think I see someone back in the woods waving. And who have we here? Oh, it looks like Ken Goddard. It is Ken Goddard. What are you doing here?
I wasn't sure there was going to be any. I've only seen 7 so far today.
Just happen to have a big doe behind him. Look at that. Nice.
Yep, that's the kind
Well
of
done.
A good fat doe, not some scrawny little one.
No, nice. There you go. That'll feed.
She committed suicide. She came right out there and stood broadside. Shoot me if you think you can.
Nice. All right. Well, let's...
Lungs in front.
Lungs in front. Well, that means the gun's dead on, huh?
Yep.
If that's where you're aiming. Beautiful. All right. We will load her up, take her back, and start the process.
Sounds good to me. Thank you for letting me hunt here.
We got to get a tag on her too, so, but we'll be good. Yep, all's good. All right, we'll be back, folks, here at the Buck and Bass Ranch. Ken Goddard, doe down. Sweet. Digging out the tag there.
Oh, these licenses are expensive. Cost $7.
Yeah, you're an old fart, that's
I
why.
didn't think it was going to cost more than $6.
Yeah, old farts, so, you know. You get it easy around this place. All right. We'll be back.
Folks, thanks so much for joining us. This segment of our show is brought to us by Gearhead Archery, Snaplock Hunting Blinds, Smoking Tex Electric Smokers, TRHP Outdoors, Ultramatic Feeders, and Catfish Pro Catfish Bait and Catfishing Supplies. Make sure and tune in next week. We'll have another exciting show ready to go for you.